Hey everybody, thanks for dropping by this Thursday. Every Thursday I try to talk a little bit about real estate, and today's topic is expanding your business, how to scale your real estate business for long-term success. And I've had some long-term success in real estate over 30 years, so I'd love to share some of those things with you. But I want this to be interactive. I'd love for you to talk to me on chat, ask questions. I'm going to have a few minutes at the end of the time for you to ask any questions. And since I didn't get all my headlines put on this because I was too late today, if you want these notes for any reason, I'm glad to email those to you as well. But it's a good topic, and it's time to talk about it. Expanding your real estate business, how to scale your real estate business for long-term success. And you know, it's funny because I read a lot about this, but the first thing I really want to ask you is, do you really want to expand your business? I mean, because you really got to want to expand during a time when the real estate market is shifting, and we are definitely shifting, and I've got the stats to prove it. So even if you're used to selling, let's just use a number, 50 homes a year, you're probably going to have to shift your business to a little bit of a different model to sell the same amount of homes. And now if you're talking about expanding, maybe you're talking about 75 homes, or maybe you're talking about 100 homes this year, or 500 homes. Do you really want to expand? It takes change to do that, and honestly, most of us just get in that rut, and we just want to do those same things. We go to work the same way every day, and we want to do the same things. But when the market changes, we must change, and I can tell you that because I've been through 4 or 5 recessions, and it takes change. The second question is from me. It's not from the big gurus and everything, but what is your tolerance for risk? Real estate is a risky business. You don't sell something, you don't get a paycheck. So if you really run a team and run a business, and running a team is running a small business in real estate, what's your tolerance for risk? Many people just don't have any tolerance for risk. They'd rather have a job. They'd rather have something steady that comes in. So give yourself a test on a 1 to 10 and tell me, okay, I got a lot of risk, I got a lot of belief. I want to know what percentage of each commission check are you willing to put back into your business. I think that's a very important question, because I know a lot of people in this industry that don't put anything back into their business, and I'm going to tell you some reasons why that business will not do as well as we go on today. But can you see yourself running a business where you give away 50%, where you give away 75% of every dollar you earn, and maybe then have a payroll to pay on top of that? You got to sell a lot of houses for that model to work for you. So sometimes it's just easier for people to get a job, a 9 to 5, and they don't have that risk tolerance or that drive. So I've always said, that if you bet on yourself, you're going to win. I really believe that. However, there are different times in your life where you have the ability, you have constraints on you. Maybe you have a sick family member. You have something that's holding you back that you really has to take priority. So you have to judge that to your desire to expand your real estate business if that's happening in your life. And then the third Marti question to you is, what is your guiding beliefs about prosperity? How big is prosperity in your mind, and what does it look like to you? To me, a big part of prosperity is giving, the ability to give. And what is prosperity to you? Is it retiring comfortably on a fixed income, or are you traveling the world on a yacht? I mean, there's some different ideas there about this. And here's my last of my fuzzy questions, but really, what drives you? I'd love for you to write in the chat right now, what drives you to want to expand your business? That's a strong question, and you're going to need to know a definite answer for that. The next thing I wrote down is expanding and running a successful real estate team. The first thing I do is build a strong team around you. that gives customer service at a high level when you're not there doing everything. And that's the question after that is, can you stand to not do everything? I've met agents that really couldn't stand, because we all know nobody can do it as good as us. That's what our ego tells us anyway. So can you stand to not do everything and have your hand on everything and your thumb on everything? Can you build a strong team around you, that things run smoothly without you? Because that's really what a business is. So part of running that business efficiently is to have those systems and the processes in place. And guys, they change. Those processes, those systems, the public, the consumer has an ever expanding, ever higher level of service that they will demand for us. It's not going to get less, it's going to get more, because big money has come into our industry in a big way. And of course, you've got to leverage technology, virtual assistants, if you have the time to train them, but nothing can be used. You can have the best CRM in the world, but if you don't have your people using it efficiently, you might as well not pay for it. That's really the truth. So a personal feeling about real estate is that you must have a listing-based business as opposed to a buyer-based business. A buyer-based business is perhaps when you buy leads and you let the buyer's agents, you pay for those leads and let the buyer's agents go sell those leads, and you get a certain percentage, they get a certain percentage. Zillow's a prime example. But I believe in order to have a long-term, and that was the subject, by the way, is having a long-term successful real estate business, is your business has to be listing-based. And when I look down the list of the top 100 agents in our market, it's shocking how many have a buyer-based business. There's very, very few that have a listing-based business. So I'm proud to be one of those few, because I know that listings are the way that you truly have a business. You have something for the consumer to call you about instead of you calling the consumer. So in 2008, and that doesn't change no matter what the market is. In 2008, when the market crashed, I went up to carrying probably about 150 to 175 listings. And that's part of that change that you have to adjust to with every market. You see, it took 150 to 175 listings for me to maintain the income that I had formerly maintained with much fewer listings. So you have to adjust to the market. And we are adjusting to that every single day, but you need a listing-based business. If you have Zillow, for example, if that's the basis of your business, if Zillow makes you, they can ruin you. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. We have dismal longevity in this business. So that's the way that agencies have been formed and run for ever since I've been in the business. You get a new agent that just got out of real estate school, they sell their mother, their brother, two of their friends, and within 18 months they're gone out of this business and they don't renew their license. Many of them don't. So I would say have that listing-based business. The next point I wanted to bring up is, do you have a way for agents you hire to earn more than you or become more in your structure than you do? Do you have a way for them to go higher than you? I think that's really important. And, you know, had an interesting conversation with somebody I really admire and respect not too long ago, and she said something very nice to me, which I'm not going to repeat. But and in essence, it was, why did you join EXP? You were doing fine without them, and your name is enough to carry. And I appreciate that, but let me tell you something. I'm not national. I'm not international. And I joined a company. As a matter of fact, we were talking about, you know, I came from RE/MAX to EXP. And in RE/MAX, we like to say that we rented the name RE/MAX for a long time, because you didn't, the focus wasn't on your name. Like now with EXP, my name is Marti Hampton Real Estate with EXP. But with RE/MAX, it was Marti Hampton at RE/MAX. And the greatest thing about paying that former company way, may I say it again, way too much money was the national and international contacts that I made. And that was worth something. And I still have some of those contacts today, and it's a great advantage. So what do you have to make national and international? And do you even see that as part of your business? If you really want to expand your business, you must get out of the box of the way we do things locally, not only the way we do things locally, but the way we do things in our real estate box. To get smart in business, you have to look at other business and try to apply that and upgrade and upscale our own business. So I like working globally. Actually, I bought something that was a real estate marketing plan that EXP gives us the chance to be a part of. And the marketing is a global report, Robb Report, Wall Street Journal, Unique Homes, Mansions Global. It's on 90 sites globally. I know how much this would have cost me per listing in my former affiliation. And with EXP, with the clout with that, I get it very reasonably for all my high-end listings. And it's a wonderful asset. And frankly, I couldn't do that if I was just Marti Hampton Real Estate. So joining a global company has really been big, and I'm glad I did. And also joining a company that is online, because I think that's the future. That's the future of our whole economy and the whole world. You see, when your ego is so big, you can't think past that. You enjoy being, I would ask yourself, do you enjoy being the big fish in the little pond, or do you like to be the little fish in the big pond? You see, I always wanted to get down off the porch and run with the big dogs. I like running with the teams across America that are making a difference, that are changing this industry, that are kind of, in a way, they are band together in a very unique way, almost a union-like way, against big tech and big money. So I'll try to not go there anymore. But when you've got an ego, it's going to be very, very hard to expand your business. So in order to have long-term success, you got to cultivate strategic partnerships. Local partnerships are great, but national and international partnerships are even better. I was at a chamber meeting this morning, and it was just amazing because there was Chamber of Commerce brought in people from Austin, which is constantly one of our big competitors when it comes to people relocating, and now they can live in so many different places because a lot of people work from their home. They had somebody there from Boston, they had somebody there from Austin, and they had somebody there from Atlanta. So they had somebody from the chamber of those three great cities, and they were talking about the gateway to America, the American dream, the gateway. And what you want in these cities is you want to create the people from coming all over the world, just like the Statue of Liberty once said, you can come here, you can fly here. We want this to be the gateway to the American dream. Of course, that includes housing, which I'm very fond of, and many other things, cost of living, everything that goes along with that. So I just found it very interesting that these people were looking at the South, our area in Austin and some other places in the Southeast, as the new gateway to America. Now, formerly, I'm going to be honest with you, it was New York, Boston, Chicago, maybe L.A. or something, but there wasn't that much in the South. But we are the new ones. We are on the bigger stage now. So we have to think differently, and I think we're going to have to think differently in business. And real estate is business if you choose to make it business. Of course, it can always just stay a job too, and many people have used it for that quite successfully. So in order to have a long-term business, you got to cultivate those partnerships across the nation and hopefully globally. Another fact that you got to do if you really want to expand your business is diversify your services. Explore different avenues within the real estate commission. I'm always amazed at how many people that sell real estate don't own real estate, don't have investment properties. That's not that's not good. You know real estate. You should take advantage of it. Also, another way you can expand your business is to expand geographically. And of course, that's another reason I joined EXP, is because I now have affiliates in Asheville, North Carolina, in Waterloo, Iowa. I've got affiliates in Dallas, Texas. So this is a very good plan for me, because I am a small company that wants to be bigger. Every year I want to give better service. I want to give better service to my clients. I want to give better opportunities to my agents. So the next thing I would say, if you want to expand, is of course you're going to have to develop a strong online presence. And that's of course for yourself, your Google footprint, but it's also for your homes. And you got to put money into that constantly. It's like paying your telephone bill. I mean, you're not going to get it unless people look at you online first, and they look at homes online first and decide whether they're going to show that home. They certainly look online for the real estate agent as well. So that's a great reason to have that national company behind you. Another way to expand is to diversify is to go to national coaching events, develop relationships, and I've certainly done a lot of that. And then my premier number one thing, well, actually it's the next to last thing, was focus on customer service. It's got to constantly elevate. There used to be a term called a servant leader. I call some agents not servant leader, I call them slaves because they do way too much. And really what I want to strike is that professionalism that really makes the customer know that they're in great hands, that you've done this many, many times before, and you can guide them to the best of the market. And the best way to guide them to the best of the market is to sell an awful lot of houses every single month, so you know exactly where the market is. You know exactly when it's going to turn. You know exactly when it's going to get cooler and when it's going to get hotter. So I think you focus on that customer experience and make it better and better is one of the greatest things I could ever tell you. My last thing is invest in yourself, invest in ongoing education and development. I think negotiation classes are great, sales classes are great. Anything that helps you elevate your game and stay on it is great. So I'm just about finished. I got a last thought, and then I want to open it up for what you want to say. My last thought about expanding your business is, how fearful are you? How fearful are you of spending to expand? Now think about this. What about the person who has $1,000 has to take, $800 for the opportunity to have $10,000? Just the opportunity. Sometimes people have a little, especially the older they get, supposedly our risk level gets smaller and smaller. Maybe there's some health reasons for that, but other than that, I think there's some really good reasons to question yourself on that, because frankly, as you evolve in this business, you're going to get better and better at it. So even though you might spend that $800 and you only got $1,000, you're pretty sure you're going to get that $10,000 because you've been through so much, you've experienced so much. And my last question is, do you still have the juice? Do you still have the excitement about this business? Do you still want to expand this business? I would love to do great things together with people that really want to expand their business and have opportunity to go above anything that I've ever done in this business. And that's the kind of people I want to work with. So let's do great things together. I'm going to open it up. Hopefully you got one or two comments or questions. Hey, that's right. My main man here, Dave, by the way, is from Boston, which I just found out this morning has the fourth highest density of traffic in the world. Not in the U.S., in the world. That's just, you got that for free. So the question is, how do you balance the need to scale and grow with maintaining quality and personal touch in client reactions? You got to have really good people behind you. You got to have people you trust, and you got to train them. And then you and your salespeople have got to sell them and trust them. You got to always tell your clients that they can reach you. But you might be busy, and you got somebody 9 to 5 that's been doing closings for 30 years or 20 years or whatever. They're very, that's all they do. And when you do one thing very often, you do it better. For example, do you know the temperament in what sellers are actually doing on inspections? It wasn't that long ago in our market when an inspection, do something. Heck, I'm paying $50,000 over list price. I'm not doing anything. You take the house as is. I don't care what's wrong with it. But the market changes, and a great system, a great team is able to do that. So you when you want to do it all yourself, you need to ask yourself, do I need to upgrade the person that's helping me with it, my TC? And then, is it necessary to form an LLC or corporation when you start growing and hiring more people? I didn't do that for an awful long time. I think that's a decision you better call an accountant about or something like that. I do have that now, but for a long time I didn't. I ran my business as a sole proprietor, and I didn't mess with a whole lot of that stuff. But as the years went by, it became better for me to have an LLC, so I did do that. So that's what I've got to answer to those two. Those personal touches with the clients is really, really important. I'm glad you mentioned that. I think they always have to be able to get in touch with you, but you really have to sell them that you've got the right person for them to talk to about staging. You've got the right person for them to talk to about the inspection negotiations. So I hope that helps. Anything else, guys? If not, I'm going to call this a wrap. I'm so glad you could drop by today. Thanks for coming to see me every Thursday. I hope you'll come again. Go sell some real estate.